So this is the Makita 7104L chain mortiser, and today I'm going to show you exactly what everything on this thing does and how to use it. Now it's pretty simple, very simple machine. It is the best chain mortiser in the industry as far as my opinion. And so we'll just get right down to the features. So it has this little number gauge down here, and if you see right there on 0, it has a 0 mark. It wants to focus on the chain. There you go, that 0 mark right here. You line that up with your mark for where you want to start your pocket, and that lines your chain up with the edge of your pocket, and you start making your first plunge. Now this lever right here, when you're done with your first plunge and you want to move it forward, you push that forward in the forward position, and it will move your chain over almost a full blade, and you can make your second pass for your plunge. Okay, so that's for all the way back in your starting position. And it's got this nifty little adjustment right here that you can just crank that over and you can adjust it to wherever you want. So you can line it up with your front of your pocket and just make sure that this is all the way back, and then you can start your cut, and then you can roll it back to make your second pass, and you can just keep rolling it back like that. It's got some nifty little features to it. And so this handle locks and unlocks your mortiser. So you simply just, it's locked in right now, so you just lift it up like that, and it unlocks your jaws here. And this handle right here, you just loosen it off and you slide that out, and now you can clamp it onto whatever size board you're working with. So you just make sure it's loosened off, slide it in to wherever it hits, crank it down, make sure it's nice and tight, and then you can crank this down to lock it into place. And now then we are nice and secure, and that's not going anywhere. And so over here on this side we have a depth setting adjustment, and you just loosen this off and you adjust your depth to wherever you want. Now if you notice right up here at the top, it has this mark right here, and that's roughly where your stops at when your blade touches your wood. Okay, when your blade touches your wood, that stops to about right there. It's down a tiny bit, I'll show you. So we are touching, and you notice you can't see the mark. If I lift it up just a little bit, see if I can do this. Hard to do one-handed, but if I lift it up just a little bit, oops, I went a little too far, but it just barely goes below that mark. So basically what you can do is just let it down right there to where it sits on your wood, and then you just measure down from here to where you want your depth to be set. So I want mine set at 5.5 inches. And so 5.5 inches is basically right on the number 12. Is that number 12? Yes, that is number 12 on the stop. If y'all can see that, it's right at number 12. So that's where I will be setting the depth, bringing this up to, there's number 12 right there. And it has little teeth on the inside so that it grabs at just the right place. And I'm just going to tighten it down right there. That's where we want it. And so the machine will stop when it gets to that depth. And so the only other thing to show is that this latch, when it's in the when it's all the way up, it will automatically catch, and when you're ready to make a cut, you just simply unlatch it to make your plunge. Okay, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. Now then, when you're ready to make your second cut, this has a really cool feature. Alright, so let me show you what I'm talking about here. Get this thing plugged in. And so after you make your first plunge, your first initial plunge, you're going to want to push down on this handle and pull up on this handle. Just like that. And that locks you into your second position to make your second plunge. Scoots the blade over a little bit so you don't have to move your whole base. Once you make your second plunge, then you can click it over into the third position and make your third plunge. Okay? Once you make all three plunges, you're going to want to push down a little bit, pull back on your release, and go back to the original position. Okay? After you're in the original position and you've made all three plunges, you're going to want to go down, all the way down, and you're going to want to sweep the bottom one last time to clean up any roundedness that each plunge made. Okay? So, we'll just give you a little demonstration here on how this works. We're all set up. Double check our alignment here, give her a little adjustment. That's right where we want to be. We're locked down into place. We're all the way back. And so we're just going to get her going and give her a little plunge. that's pretty much all there is to it. It's like I said, it's a pretty simple machine, and it works wonders. So now that we got the first pass on our pocket done, now we can either choose to throw this lever and scoot it over just a little bit. I don't really like doing that because it doesn't quite cut a full blade out. And when you're cutting 2-inch pockets, I find it better just to leave it in the up position and to just scoot your blade over to right there. And then when we drill that out, we'll be able to do the third pass, which is one more blade over. And so it just seems to work better that way, for me anyways. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it with this thing. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.